Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? 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 Guess who's back?
Who am I, you ask? I was created in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by the waste of a dying world. I was bestowed with an insurmountable task: bring peace after decades of death, persecution, and chaos. I am a grandchild of war, destined to help two camps which hate has fueled for far too long. Surprisingly, I am not alone. Have an odd bunch to make the road a little more bearable. Come with me to bring hope where there was despair, respect where there was resentment, creativity where there was destruction. I am Pinocchio, and this is my story.
Comic books and graphic novels, including Nightmare World, Tales of Mystery, Brave but Not Dead, all kinds of stuff. And I am super excited for you because you are getting to watch right now, right this moment, out of all the things we're going to be doing, you're getting to enjoy and revel in the Madness Comic Network. And that is awesome. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, what he said. Thank you for being here. Welcome to another Monday Madness. We're running up on 5 years of doing this, people. Y'all know I love doing it. I see Josh dropped a comment over there in the chat. And see what I'm going to do right now, Josh, is I'm going to give you a wrench so that you can drop your links over there too. And I don't just mean like now. I mean, anytime you see us live in the madness, brother, this is what we do. So you got a wrench over there now. You see one of our shows on, just drop in the chat, say, hi, this is Josh, dude, check out my stuff, drop your link. You know what I mean? It's like how we cross-pollinate all these different audiences with all these different shows.
That's great, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, you bet, man. You are more than welcome. It's good to meet you, man. Welcome to the madness. There's no other way to explain what goes on here.
Hey, that's good. Welcome to the cream of the crop,
there you
brother.
go. You just gotta go there. Just gotta go. It's funny that you referenced the Macho Man, because I'm actually working with somebody, a local guy, and I'm doing a sponsor spot for him. He's a great big blonde dude, and I'm a little bit smaller, and I was like, man, we should do the Mega Powers thing. You know what I mean? As a commercial, merging his company with ours. You know, it's like kind of a Mega Powers thing.
That was peak American excellence.
Yes, I thought it would be hilarious.
That was the high point of culture in this country.
And he wasn't sure. He's like, man, I don't know. And everybody, all of his employees and the other people in the room at the time were all going, "Oh, you got to do it. You got to do it."
Look, it worked for Slim Jims. It works for everything,
right? It's crazy. And then we see Hulk at the RNC. That was.
I mean, that's the world we live in now. It's 2024.
He's been an American hero for years, right? I mean,
that he is, man.
You know,
yeah, he was my hero.
Brother, you know,
it was like, my hero as a kid. I loved Hogan. Still love Hogan.
Say your prayers, take your vitamins. Dude was all about, you know, America.
Yeah, he was a cool guy.
Dude,
still
him.
is.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because back in the day, I trademarked a phrase called "anybody but," and I used to sell shirts that said like "anybody but Jeff Gordon," "anybody but Dale Earnhardt," "anybody but Tiger Woods." Those guys that won all the time, and you just got sick of them winning, and you're just like, "Come on, anybody else?"
Yeah,
right. I mean, you're cheering for everybody else on the board. Please, somebody, you know. So I made this shirt. What's up, dude? Football practice?
Yeah. Why?
Have a good practice, dude. Grandkids, yeah. Actually, he's in the middle of reading Teen Strike right now.
Cool.
I think what is it? It's not Joe Spicer's. It's Jesse Sosa. And it's, you know, a teenager book, and it's like I gotta try it out on him, then I'm gonna read it.
There you go.
But that ain't the book we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about this one.
Yep, there it is.
And I'm gonna pull up this campaign, but I want you to tell everybody who you are, what you do. I'm gonna shut up for a minute. I'm gonna let you talk.
All right, so
you know who you are, what you do, and how you met Dan and got involved in this.
All right, so yeah, my name's Josh Adams. I am the artist for the GODFOE universe, artist and co-creator. Dan Evans is the writer. He does all the scripting and everything, but he and I have spent the better part of 10 years building this world that we call the GODFOE universe. And it does involve comics, but it's comics, it's music, podcasts, short films. There's a video game that's about 75% done. That's a prequel to this book that we're going to be talking about today. And so Dan and I met him through music. We were both in bands in the same area, and we became good friends. And initially, he was in a group. The group that he continues to be in is a group called Blue Bolt. Sort of a prog rock punk band. They're really, really fun music, really cool. But you know, it's built around this it was built around this idea of this sort of anime style character named Blue Bolt. And initially I started drawing that character for him for band stuff, and then we started tossing around these ideas of a story that could go with the music, and then it became bigger and bigger and bigger until we was like, yeah, we really got something here. And so now we have this timeline, and you'll see it on the inside front cover of all of our books. And what we call the GODFOE universe expands over thousands of years. So our first graphic novel, which came out earlier this year, is called Apollyon 20XX. That's set at the beginning of our timeline. Biophile Kolga is a whole good 1,000 years later. It's another era. It's in the same timeline, and so it is connected, but you can read one thing without reading the other. But if you do read everything, you're able to see a much larger world. But yeah, I do all of the art, but he and I, we develop the story together, then he scripts it out and sends that to me, and then I, create the actual book.
All right. So my first question for you is there a setup to the trailer, or do you want me to play the trailer and we'll talk about stuff afterwards?
Let's just go ahead and play it, because I think the trailer does a better job of establishing the tone of what you're getting into than I'm going to. So yeah, play the trailer, and then we'll just answer whatever questions there are about it and go from there.
All right, cool. Here we go. Everybody, check it out. All right. What did I just do? Just big screened everything and blew myself out of the page. Hold on. There we go.
There it is. Sweet.
So, Biophile Kolga.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, give us the gist. What's up?
So, and yes, it did say noir down there in the comments. Yeah, so Biophile Kolga is set during a time where there's a being, or an entity, will say that the world recognizes as God, and it isn't a god. It isn't God at all, but it is a world power that controls kind of everything that's behind the scenes. Anyone in the world that looks at that and says that's not God is labeled a GODFOE, which is where our GODFOE universe comes from. We see throughout the thousands of years of our timeline different people who stand against that power. And Kolga was raised by a group of people called the Biophile Initiative. They are a group of people who realize the corruption in the world and the corruption of this power that people know as God, and they've been trying to create a way out. And a lot of that has been subversion of things. It's a lot of the propaganda to try to let people know the reality of what's happening in the world. And through the course of all that, she has been spending her entire life fighting this. So at the beginning of this book, we're going to find Kolga she's a 80 to 90-year-old woman who's basically given a brand new body. The story begins with her at what she thought was the end of her life. She's going in for what she thought was her final mission, and instead she's given a new life. And we follow Kolga and her ward, or her somewhat of a daughter figure named June. The two of them are working together to essentially she just wants to burn the whole thing to the ground. She's angry. She knows how twisted everything is. She knows the reality of the world better than anyone else alive right now. And in the middle of all that, she has this very powerful artifact that's alive. It's an eyeball in a lantern, and I won't say a whole lot more than that, other than to say that his name is
right away. I was like,
his name is Stu, and he's the best character in this book. Everybody who has read the book loves Stu. He's hilarious. He's hilarious right up until he's not. He's funny until he's scary. But but this story is about this, basically about this very powerful woman who has been given a second life, and it's the life she doesn't even really want anymore. And she has a very dark enemy from her past who has shown back up that she never thought she'd have to face again. And I don't want to give away a whole lot more of it than that. Someone asked in the chat, what age is it geared toward? I would say 13 and up. It does not have any nudity per se. There's no sexual content. There is violence, and there is some scary imagery, some creepy, gooey monsters, but nothing over the top. I do think we pretty well aimed all of our books at 13 and up. You know, there's some heavy themes. There's some darkness. There's some levity too. We try to balance it out. It's not all darkness, but it's also, you know, it certainly would be appropriate for middle schoolers and up.
Cool. And just because Dustin he runs a couple of shows on our network, that guy over there, and rather than have him type all night, I just let him come out and join us. And
hey, that'll work. That's an epic beard, dude. I feel embarrassed for myself. I'm ashamed.
I'm just trying to save his typing fingers, because just bring him out, let him ask questions in person.
I feel like I'm left out here, so I got to join the club. Get
there you go.
Get my cowboy hat on here. Join the club. Since everybody else is doing it, peer pressure.
So,
that's right.
So, Josh, this is Dustin. Dustin is the guy who runs the ADHD Theater and It's Freaking Figures, a couple of shows on the network. And
nice.
He has a channel as well, Geekmen and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds.
That's a great name.
Yeah, I know, isn't it? And they also do interviews sometimes with people like you. So I like.
Very cool. Nice to connect, man.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, I want people to connect so that they get in front of other audiences. You know, I mean, that's my goal.
Right.
Your goal is creating awesome books. My goal is trying to get people to buy it.
That's part of my goal too. I want people to buy it as well. I was a elementary art teacher for 17 years, and a little over a year ago, I left that behind. I said, I turned 40 and realized if I'm ever going to do this thing that I care so much about, I've got to go ahead and do it, or it's never going to happen. And of course, my wife was incredibly supportive of that. So I am an associate pastor at my church, and then I also do comic books. And, you know, it's one of those things where I'm so glad that I did pull the trigger on this, because I've been so happy just being able to work on art for the amount of, like, it's always been that thing that I love doing and never have time to do. So now to have hours a day that I spend creating stuff that I genuinely care about is awesome.
That's cool. My mom, her church in Albuquerque, one of those guys up on stage there does high fantasy books.
Nice.
And it's like, you know, it's like, is there a conflict of interest with your religion sometimes when you're putting this stuff on paper? You know what I mean? It's like, I asked him flat out. It's like, man, some of that's pretty wild, dude. It's like, God okay with that?
Hey, there's some wild stuff in the Bible too, brother. So
oh, I know.
You ain't gonna find wilder stuff than in the book.
I know that, but he didn't write that. He just made it all happen. You know?
Fair enough.
That's still us as authors, you know what I mean? Even back then, you know. But yeah, it's like I had to ask him because, you know, he is the guy that's preaching to my mom every Sunday. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, I read your books. You know?
Weird, man. Well, I got to tell y'all, like, you know, we got involved in comic books for one reason, is just because we knew it would be it's a medium that's very visual, which is what we wanted. But, you know, Dan and I both, we were very big comic book fans for such a long time. It was such a huge part of my childhood was comic books. But, you know, over the past 20 years, And Marvel and DC comic book wise is so just gone downhill.
Yeah.
And, you know, for a long time, Image and Dark Horse, you know, the indie stuff became so much more interesting for me than anything that Marvel or DC was doing. But, you know, now even within the indie world, you know, it's been a long time since I've read something that hit me the way, you know, a manga like Akira had, or the way that Kingdom Come did the first time I read it, or, you know, it's just been a long time since I was inspired by anything I've seen in a comic. And, you know, we decided rather than spend a bunch of time complaining about it, let's do something, let's create something that we would have thought was cool when we were kids.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to create something that I would want to read. And, you know, that's what we've done. And we also, you know, we looked at the world of indie comics as it is right now. And we immediately said, all right, there's so much back and forth, like middle school drama between so many of these creators that we don't want to be involved in. So we're not going to go. We're not getting involved in any of that mess. We just want to create something cool. And then you see so much, you know, just whining and complaining. You know, we saw somebody, I don't want to name anybody because, again, I don't want to be a part of drama. But you see so many people that are complaining and saying, oh, you know, it costs so much money to make this 22-page floppy, and I got to charge $10, $15 for this little 22 pages. Oh, it's because people are paying 5 different artists to create one little book.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then they'll pay $3,000 to some artist in Italy somewhere to do a variant cover that they're going to sell 5 of. And we just, like, our approach has been create something awesome, put it out, make it as affordable as possible.
Mhm.
So, like, our first graphic novel was 178 pages, I think, and we sold it for $25.
Nice.
This book is manga size, so we made it a smaller format. So that saved us a little bit of money. And we love manga, and manga outsells American comics on the regular anyway. So, like, you know, that was part of is to appeal to that audience. But we got 90, it's 90 to 100 pages. There's still a few more pages that we're putting in that are content. So really we're saying it's 100 pages and we're selling it for $15.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. See,
And
and I have a page count per price of my own that I, you know, go when I'm thinking of buying a book. Okay, if it's 22 pages and it's more than $10,
yeah, you can forget about it.
you ain't got my attention. Okay,
No, there's no way there's anything groundbreaking enough in those 22 pages to be worth that.
And you want a 20 piece from me and then add shipping to that. It better be 48 plus. You know, I mean,
Yeah, our plan.
And that's low end, right? I mean, I'd rather get a whole lot more for $20, but I've been known to spend a 20 for a 48-page book.
Well, like I said, Kolga's 100 pages. It's $15, and we have a $5 flat rate for shipping.
That's
And the book is done. Like we've all from up front, we've said we're not going to ask for money until our books are done. So there is not going to be a wait. Like when this campaign ends, the next week, there's immediately it goes to the printers, and then we're going to start sending it out. Like we had our turnover for the first book, like the campaign ended, we got it printed, and we were shipping it out to people in a week.
Nice.
And it's also one of those things that, like, we've got all of our titles, and for right now we've only got these 2 that are being released, but when you see our timeline, there's a lot more than just those 2. But we've got the entire arc of all these different titles already written. So, like Kolga, the next volume of Kolga will be out next fall.
Nice.
The second volume of Apollyon, I'm already drawing. It'll be out in the spring of 25.
I'm looking.
So, like, it's constantly going to be coming out.
Nice.
I'm looking at what you said there about. You said the first book was 170 pages,
It is, yeah.
and then another 100 pages for $35. 270 pages for $35.
And
There's
along
your
with
catch up right there you go, guys. There's your deal. There's your
Yeah.
freaking deal of the year. 270 pages for $35.
And along with that, when you join our website, we've got a digital content on the website. There's two of them. One of them's called The Revelations. One of them's called Lamentations. And it's these sort of esoteric in-world writings that tie into Apollyon that are, some of it's poetry, some of it's done up as like a photography project with a good buddy of ours. That's like another 200 pages or so worth of content that's on the website for free.
Wow.
And everybody that backs this book, when you back this book, we'll immediately send you the first chapter of Kolga for free.
Nice.
There's
So
how many more pages?
So it's just like we want to give people a lot of bang for their buck. So because we want people we're going to be here for a long time. We have so much story coming out. Like we're going to entertain you for the next 40 years if you'll help us build a platform. And even if you don't, we're going to keep going.
Well, you see, this reminds me of what Laurie's doing, of what Carissa's doing. It's a long form story. They ain't gonna stop. They're gonna keep putting stuff out. You just get on board,
Right?
and
Go for the ride.
Yeah, this is not going to be one of those things where you get one issue of something and then it's 2 or 3 years before you get issue 2. Like we're not doing issues anyway. We're giving you whole volumes every time, and we're on a schedule of release to where it's coming out. You're getting at least 2 books a year. You're definitely going to get an Apollyon and a Kolga every year. And then mixed into that, we've also got a series of novels. The first one's completely written, and there are several others. We've got a series of at least 5 books that are already mapped out, the storylines of where it is going, that is set at the end of our timeline. That first book will hopefully come out maybe even this winter. We're just figuring out exactly how we want to roll that out because it's not a comic, it's an actual novel. But we've got so much content that we are releasing, but we have so much that's still, like if you see our timeline, there's so many stories that are on that timeline that we haven't created the books yet, but the stories are written.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now you got my attention when you said novels.
Mm-hmm.
Because I read. I don't only read, I proofread.
Very nice.
I'm good at it, and I got references. So if you need somebody to proofread those novels, hit me up.
I'll keep that in mind because the first novel we've gone through it with a fine-tooth comb. It's been through I think 3 rounds of edits between the two of us, but it never hurts to have another set of eyes on it. So we'll keep that in line.
What my problem is that like typographical errors will pull me out of a story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can be reading a book that's like Lord of the Rings, right? And if there was a typeset error on page 285, that shit's gonna jump out at me and hit me. Okay,
fair enough.
It's like it's a different font. It's bold. It's italicized. Anytime I see an error, and it takes me out of the story.
Yeah.
So I like to proofread for people and make sure that doesn't happen to the people they sell books to.
Right.
So, I mean, it doesn't affect everybody like that for me, but for me, it'll be like, especially if it's like some kind of big publishing house, it's like, come on, man, how much money did you spend?
Right.
And how much are you charging? And I don't want to see that. So, but errors just jump off the page at me. It's not even something I have any control of.
Well, we'll keep that in mind, man, because we hadn't decided exactly the plan for the novel yet. Right now, it's been finished and sitting for over a year now. It's just we've been focused on the comics side of things. That's felt like the best entry for us. But that novel and other novels are coming. And then I also mentioned we got a video game prequel for Kolga that is about 75% done. The fun thing is when we do signings and cons and stuff, we are able to set up a monitor and controller and let people play the beta version of the demo of the game. And that's been great. We love watching people because it's hard. It's fun, but it's hard. And seeing people come back around, like they wander around the con and they come back for another 30 minutes to try the level again, and it's been fun to watch people just interact with that.
Yeah.
That's a great tell right there. If they played it and then they walked away and they went, damn, I want to do that.
I gotta try that again.
That's a great tell right there, man.
Well, that's one of the most humbling things in the world to me has been like, and we're really fresh into this. Like we really, literally, the first book came out back in January, so we've been working on it for a long time, but it's only actually been out for a very short amount of time. But like this book that you see right there, Apollyon 20XX, we took it to our first con earlier this year, and back in May, I think it was, and it was a pretty good sized convention. But I mean, there's thousands of vendors, and there's Deadpool right there, and there's Superman, and there's Batman, and there's all these different things, Pokemon, and all the stuff.
Yeah. And
there were so many people that came by our table, and we were like one of the only things there that was not mainstream stuff. And it was crazy how many people came by, looked at our stuff, went through the whole thing, and then an hour later they came back by, and ours was the thing they bought.
Yeah.
And man, that was such a cool feeling and such a humbling feeling for someone to look at all this other stuff and say, this thing I may never see again, so this is what I'm going to spend my money on. Because I know how, like I'm not rolling in money, so I know how it feels for me if I go to something like that. Like I've got a ceiling of what I'm willing and able to spend, and I want to spend it well. So the fact that they came back to my table and bought my book, man, that means a lot to me.
I go there with I go to cons, the local ones, and I do press.
Mm-hmm.
I go there, I interview people. I'll walk around in the morning. I'll check, see who's up for an interview. I'll come back in the afternoon and we'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time to shop. I don't get to shop. I don't get to do none of that. It's like we're talking to people, we're doing the camera work, we're out. You know what I mean? It's work for me. But every now and then I'll meet people that are just awesome and get stuck talking to him, like Henri Compton. When I met Henri, like the first time I saw him at a con, he had so many people around him and shit that I couldn't get near him to talk to him, to get an interview or anything, right? And but we were seeing each other. We were like, "Hey, Henri, what's up, Pops?" It was like yelling at each other from 50 feet away, but that was as close as I got to him. He's just electric at the con. He's up. He's active, he's happy, he's talking to people, he's selling books. You know what I mean? He's not sitting at his table with his phone, looking down. You know what I mean? It's like he's up and doing the thing. And man, cons can be your best friend.
Well, just anytime you're able to interact with real people face to face, and they can see you and you can talk to them and they can see your passion for something. And it's just it goes a long way, because I'm not trying to make a fan or make a sale. I'm trying to make a fan for life who's going to buy the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. I want somebody who's on board with our team for the long haul. And and I know we get accused of being too ambitious, but I mean, we're trying to make a living out of this eventually. But like our goal, and it may take us 5, 6, 7 years to get to this point, but our goal, when we can establish this world well enough, we want to have a pathway that's clearly defined within the different eras of our universe, to where people's fan fiction, if it meets our criteria, we will canonize fan fiction. Like that's something we really want to do, is to have it to where people can play in these sandboxes we've created, and within those rules, we'll canonize it. So you may create a character that will show up in one of these books as long as it fits the criteria. We're not there yet, but that is something we very much want to create, is a really fun hub for other creators to come and be involved in what we're doing and feel connected to it.
I got to do it.
That's awesome.
Have you heard the word of Crom today?
I saw Crom I saw it on your shirt, I think in the background. CromCon. I'm assuming we're a Conan fan.
No, I mean, I don't know. Do you think that guy? Hold up. Let me just ask. Do you think that guy could be? Do you think that could be Conan's guy?
I don't know. That's the
I
only.
don't know either. See,
The only context I have for Crom is that's the god of Conan.
Right. This is what happened. We had a Facebook group called the
Ah,
right?
nice.
So we had a Facebook group called the Comic Related Madness, and we had a logo contest.
I gotcha.
And Edwin Badillo drew this badass piece of art, right?
Yeah, I like
There's
it.
no way we couldn't use this. So
Yeah.
we used it, but then everybody started talking about the little troll.
hmm
And they wanted, what's his name? They wanted, all this. So we created CROM,
I like it.
an acronym for Comic Related Madness, right?
Yeah, I like it, dude. He reminds me. He's got a little bit of Grinch grin to him. I like him.
Yeah, he does.
It's like if Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes and the Grinch kind of got into the machine from the Fly together. I like it.
I've probably had 120 people draw CROM, their own renditions. That's why.
Yeah, I like him.
Right?
Yeah, he's cool.
You look up in the corner up there, you see some different CROMs up in the corner.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, I've had a ton of people draw him, and he already has a backstory and everything,
Nice.
origin, but that was because people kept asking questions about him, and we had to
Got to make something up.
Yeah, but we created it around a single drawing. It wasn't a planned character we were going to make a comic book out of or anything like that, right? It was just a little guy in a logo that ended up being a group mascot, then a network mascot, and people have written short stories and stuff with him now. Uh-oh, we lost Dustin. What happened? Come back.
Maybe he'll show back up. But no, that's cool, man. You need to get some
bad weather. We got a lot of bad weather around the nation.
Dude, it's about to get crazy here in South Carolina in the next day or two. We got that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a tropical storm still or if it's officially a hurricane yet, but old Debbie's about to come in and wreak havoc on us over the next few days. I don't know what's going to happen.
And she's just moving so slow, dude. You guys are going to get flooded.
What's wild is we've had thunderstorms and heavy rain every day for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like I've got a pond behind my house that is overflowing already. And now they're saying in the next few days, we're going to get 12 to 16 inches of rain on top of all that.
That's what I'm saying. I was like,
It's about to be wild over here. We've dodged that bullet for a few years, but we're going to get spanked again this year, I think.
Where you at, Dustin?
Ohio.
Oh, okay. You're up here by me. You're safe.
I'll be safe. I can swim. You might have me in my rowboat, but I'll be safe.
Well, it's funny because like we've had some of the rivers flood up here in Southwest Michigan sometimes, and it's like, but we're outside of the city and up on a hill, like in the middle of a couple lakes. Them lakes would have to get really full to flood up.
We had, not to get too off topic, but we the last time we had a really bad flooding situation here in South Carolina, I remember riding by some neighborhoods that were like lower down, and I literally, you could see just the tip of a house sticking up out of the water. Like the whole houses were underwater. It was awful. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be that bad again this time, but we'll see what happens.
As long as the problem is the ground just gets so saturated it can't take no more.
Yeah,
right.
Well, and we're already at that point. Like our ditches are everything's full. So when that thing rolls in the next day or two, it's gonna wash a bunch of stuff away. But it'll be all right.
Get your boat out. Get it ready.
We can float.
We have a boat and 3 kayaks.
There you go. When in doubt, blow up an air mattress and cling to it.
There you go. Dustin, you got any questions for this guy?
No, I
like
just
the
found
black
it
and white
interesting.
on the other book, man. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apollyon is all black and white. It's more manga styled art, but it's real gritty, kind of like the old early Ninja Turtles type grit.
Yeah.
I like it.
Definitely has that vibe. I like the fact that you're talking about potentially canonizing fan fiction and stuff like that. I have a buddy, Bo Chappell, who is an author,
Mm-hmm.
and he wrote a book called Year 47.
Mm-hmm.
And a few years ago,
47.
Yeah, a few years ago he opened up invites and said, "Hey, do you want to write in my universe?" And he asked several people in the community, and of course I was ecstatic to do that, and I loved his book, and so we ended up all writing and submitting something for him to go over, and yeah, so he accepted it and published it, and By Year's End was the title of that. So it's really cool. The By Year's End is all stuff that fans like me and other folks who submitted to him to write and writing to have submitted and published.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I actually, believe it or not, when you said that, it sounded familiar. I have that book in my Kindle library.
Yeah,
I bought the original one. I don't know if I don't remember reading it. But now it just shot to the top of my list because I'm definitely going to check. I purchased that one back in 2019. I need to go back and read that sucker. Because I remember getting it because I thought the cover just looked dope.
Yes.
All right, yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, I'll definitely get back involved in that. But
I thought that was a really fun for him to do, and of course, it was an honor for me to be able to write and submit and have something be published under his Year 47. So I thought that was fun.
Well, one of the things that this just points to is, like, I remember when the internet was a really cool place that was full of rabbit holes that you would just go down through for hours, and you get in these forums and like they were these cool places full of like all these awesome people. And it seems like the internet's so cleaned up and segmented, and everything's channeled through like three or four main sites now, and you can't find cool stuff anymore. And so that's a part of what we're trying to do is create something that, like, eventually we want our website to be a hub for just cool stuff, like, and that's why we're trying to get our fingers into novels and short films and podcasts and, all these different things, video games. We're just trying to create something cool again that feels big and feels ambitious and feels like something people want to spend their time, like, being a part of.
It kind of sounds like madness to me.
Yeah, exactly. We want to find our people.
I've been doing for 5 years is building a hub where podcasters and creators and everybody can find each other, right?
Yeah, well, and
it's grown off into gaming shows and review shows and just all kinds of stuff in the network. Now, you talk about podcasting. When you start doing a regular show, talk to me and bring it to the network so that we can broadcast it out to all our destinations as well.
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
More eyes on what you're doing.
Yeah, and when I say podcasting, Dan and I we've done some discussion, this type of stuff. Yeah. But we, like, specifically with the GODFOE universe, we got some scripted, like, full audio drama type
that's
stuff.
What I want. Nice. That would be the only one on the network. You see, that would be a first on the network, but would be like an audio podcast.
Yeah, so when we get that stuff together, I'll definitely connect with you, because that's what we want to find, our people, and we know that they're out there. Like, I know that there are people out there who will read a book like Kolga and connect with these characters, connect with the art style. There's something cool in that they're going to want to I don't want a book that people are going to read one time and sit on their shelf. We wanted to create something that people want to come back to and read again. And like, there are so many little things just in this first volume of Kolga, just little things in the background and small things that if you hang out with us for the, till like maybe volume 3, stuff is going to start happening that you'll go back and read the first volume again with new eyes and say, oh, that was already here.
Yeah.
Like it started way back here. It's, because we planned it all out before we started creating it. We know how this ends, so we already are able to plant the seeds for that stuff now, and it'll pay dividends later. It won't be like when I loved Lost when that show was on TV. I loved all the mystery of it, but it was clear around season 3 or 4 that they didn't know what they were doing.
Nope.
They just kept throwing more mysteries in with no answers because that show ended. Good and well that was not the plan. They had no plan.
Nope.
So,
go
for it.
I have to introduce our splash guest.
Hey.
She's going to give us a con report from where she spent the weekend. And we're going to talk a little bit about her campaign, but I want you to hang out, Josh, because I want to.
Oh yeah, of course.
I want to continue with this. I feel like we ain't quite done with this one yet. But hi, Corissa. Unmute yourself.
Yes, sorry, I'm working on my Kickstarter, which is launching today. So
nice.
And
congratulations.
I have like 50 add-ons, so like I'm trying to add them all on. I'm almost done. But
all right,
Josh, I was gonna do it over the weekend, and then I was like, oh yeah, I have a guest spot. My bad.
This is Corissa. I met Corissa not quite 2 years ago.
Since November will be 2 years.
Yeah, October, I think. It was the end of October.
October, yeah. Because that's why November.
She had 2 days left on her first campaign when I met her.
Yes, that's how I know it was November.
So it wasn't even 2 years ago, but right now she's kickstarting book 12.
Awesome. Congrats.
Yeah.
It's like she's like you. She's putting out pages.
You can thank my credit card.
Pages and pages and pages and pages. She's dropped trade on her first arc and working on the second arc now. Just freaking killing it. Like I said, she was on book 1 not even 2 years ago. And dude, it's been amazing watching her do her thing. This last weekend, she was at a con, creepy con.
Yeah, it's a horror con in Knoxville.
Yeah,
and it was the first time she had been there as an invited guest, all comped and everything, and she was pretty excited, and it was awesome. This stuff happens. This happens to people when they put in the work, right?
So, how was the horror con experience? Because that's one of the things I've been wanting to get involved in because Kolga has horror elements. We've thought about doing horror cons. How did you do at it?
I did pretty good. I made about, it was slow, and they put me in the back because there was I'm not with vendors. So that kind of was a negative thing because people, if they're just there to shop and they're not there to they don't know anybody famous, they might not be in my area, come in my area. So that kind of sucked because I was in the back left corner. But that was it was a free table, free food, free everything. So I didn't have it, but I made about.
There's nothing to lose.
Yeah, I had nothing to lose. So I made about $350, which was really good for me.
Yeah.
So, and especially with no fees whatsoever.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they literally bring you hot food and everything. They have to say, I mean, they treat you like gold. I mean, it was awesome. like when I walk in, they're like, "Oh, are you one of the celebrity guests?" I'm like, "Nope, I'm just a guest." It's like I'm not a celebrity, but they were super, super nice, and they bring all your stuff in. I mean, being a guest was awesome, and I mean, it's probably the last time I'll be a guest. It was the first and last time I'll be a guest, but it was it isn't.
It's not
well, and to be fair. the horror community is one of the kindest communities you'll ever be involved in. Horror people are my people. They're so awesome.
Oh, let me tell you, every actor there. So I don't know if you guys have seen The Terrifier. Have you ever seen The Terrifier?
Oh, yes.
So David, who's the main guy,
Art the
first
Clown.
of all, he's the nicest guy on the planet. So he's either a serial killer or the best actor ever, because there's no in there. Super nice. I talked to him. I got his autograph. I gave him one of my Legos because he collects Legos. I gave him my hardcover. Super nice guy. You could talk to him to whatever. But the nicest guy that I've ever met at any con was, and I'm probably going to say his name wrong, but it's Daniel Roebuck. He's in Terrifier 3, but he's in like The Fugitive. He's in U.S. Marshal. He's in Final Destination. You know, I have never met an actor nicer. Like
That's awesome.
Like, not only so I give everyone I get an autograph from, I give one of my hardcovers. This is just something that I ask him if they want it. He said yes, and I gave it to him. And he asked how much, and he's like, "How much do you sell them here?" And I was like, "Oh, like, $40, whatever." And he's like, "Oh, I'll give it to you." And I was like, "No," I was like, "I don't want you to pay for it." But then later when he saw me, he brought me a DVD. So I was like, okay. Then I was talking to him about it, and I'm sure he will not do this, but it does not matter because the fact is that he offered. He was talking about Kickstarters, and he's like, "Oh, give me your email. I'll give you my email, and then you can send me, your Kickstarters, and then when I get a chance, I can, back them or whatever." I was like, "Okay, no pressure."
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's just in general, he was super easy to talk to, super nice, and I will say one of my favorite parts was I was being the whole fangirl thing from behind the Terrifier, and it took a picture of like the curtain, but he's sitting there right there, and you're right there, and I can open the curtain. I was talking to him, but from behind the curtain, I took a picture and I sent it to my co-writer Jess, and I said, "Look, I'm a celebrity. I'm in the green room," and I turned around, and he came out and scared the shit out of me. Like, scared the shit out of me, and he laughed. And then he went to the bathroom, and then I was eating my lunch, and he came back, and this time I only jumped. I didn't scream or anything. But that was super nice. So the other person that I was next to, I was someone that was in Halloween, Marion, which is really nice. To my left, and this sounds awful because I should have seen it already. I had never seen it. He's in The House of 1,000 Corpses. And
okay, cool.
I'd never seen it. He is Robert. He was a Rufus Jr., the tow truck guy. So I had never met him before or known anything about this movie. I known about it. I just never watched it. So I'm talking to him. He's like the nicest guy. He's huge. And I felt bad because I'm glad I didn't say it, but every single person said, "I didn't realize you were so tall." 6'10". He was tall.
Yeah, that's pretty tall.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch a damn movie tonight because I don't know who the hell you are. So I went home and I watched it, and I was like, oh, actually, it's pretty good. So I came back and I was like, I watched it. He's like, how the hell did you watch it? I was like, stream. I don't know. So he was super nice, and he wouldn't even charge me for the autograph. I got an autograph from him. I got an autograph from my co-writer who loves. I asked her, "Oh, I'm watching 1,000 Corpses. Have you seen it?" She goes, "I have the blanket hanging from my door." I was like, "So yeah." So I got my co-writer an autograph, and I was like, "Listen, I definitely want to pay." And he's like, "No, I don't charge neighbors." I was like, "Well, you got to charge me my co-writers. That's not fair." And he's like, "No." So he didn't even charge me, and super nice. So.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it was great, and it was really nice, and people come over, and the only thing that I would say that I think they should change a little bit, and I love CreepyCon, and the runner, Jen, who runs the whole thing, is amazing. Don't get me wrong, super nice, super supportive. She asked me last year what happened was last year, and this is very serendipitous, is my AC leaked. And I was like, I'm one of those people that, like, everything happens for a reason. So I was like, why did this happen? Like, I was just like, why did this happen? So I had to cancel the trip to go to it. And I said, I'm really sorry. You don't have to refund me. That's not really fair. I can't make it. And I'm really sorry. So not only did she refund me, she gave me tickets to go. Well, then I felt bad. So I brought her my comics. I was like, well, here's issues 1 through 7. whatever. So then she messaged me. My dog's staring at me. I'm not usually not my office, so every animal is like around me. I've got 1, 2, 3, 5 animals right next to me, and they're looking at me like, "Who are you talking to?" No, they knew I was gonna break and go insane eventually. They just sooner than I thought, I guess. But she sent me a message saying, "I loved your comic, and I read them all. I loved them, and I want you to be a guest." And that's kind of how it happened. But
That's
I
really
think
cool.
Yeah, I think as far as selling goes, I did really good, but I think I would have done better in a booth. But I would have paid, so it probably would have evened out anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the amount of people that stopped and looked, it was a lot less, because not only did they not, because I don't go in the rows if I don't know who's there. Like if I'm just there to shop, I don't look back there.
This is what I was going to say. They probably think you're charging for autographs and stuff. When you're up there
Exactly.
with guests, and they're afraid to even walk up and ask, right?
Yeah, that was the only thing I would say, because I was the only guest that sold anything. And the other thing that I would say, if they could do anything better, on their website, they do not say who anyone's from or where they were in or why they're there. So I didn't even know the entire row was from Terrifier, except for like 2 people. I had no idea. So I would think that they should put something, like I wish they had put, Corrisa Grant from Worthy Chaos, writer, creator, whatever, sells comics, Terrifier lead, is that, whoever. They didn't even say what movies they are. And usually you see pictures of everything they're in, but it wasn't like that. So I would think that would be the only change. So the fact that people would kind of walk by and this is horrible on behalf of me. I'm very bad at calling them over. And the fact that I'm an Italian New Yorker that's loud, I should have no problem.
Right.
But I don't have that ability to just be like, hey, get the fuck over here. I don't do that. Probably would have got more though if I did say that.
Now, next
especially
time you
the
talk
horror
to
community. But no, I didn't do that. So
talk to them, Corissa. Next time you talk to them, you let them know that we're more than welcome, more than happy to promote the con and even cover the con live if possible.
Yeah, I should have, and I thought about it because I did have Wi-Fi, which they give you free Wi-Fi, which was like the best part, because the last time I was there, when I actually did table, I had no Wi-Fi and no service. So it really sucked. So the fact that they were giving me Wi-Fi was like the best part. Besides the food, that was a pretty good part.
I mean, if they need help with that promotion, with making good-looking promotional placards and stuff for their con, send them my way, man. I got nothing but time to do stuff like that for people.
Yeah. So it was really cool, and I really liked it. Like I said, it was an experience that I really enjoyed. The green room was the best, because you're just like, I'm special. But and
I'm special too, but in a different way.
Sure,
no, it probably wasn't my kind of green.
So so that it was an experience. But like I said, when people were walking by, they were looking at my poster to see why I was there, and it just says my name. It doesn't say comic creator. It doesn't say anything. So that, I believe, made it a little bit tougher for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Is your sign up link for tonight's campaign on your .com?
My pre-launch?
Yeah.
Actually, I have to launch in like 5 minutes. So
We better let you get to work then, huh? Everybody, right? If it's gonna be on this website though, the link to her campaign is always on her website. So worthychaos.com. Go over there.
Or just, I always tell everyone to search Worthy Chaos. Go to Kickstarter, search Worthy Chaos. When
I pull up Kickstarter Worthy Chaos, it gives me 1, 2, 4, 7 the trade. Every one of them except the newest one, and I always end up having to go find it anyway.
Wait until I just finished the script 1 for the Western Devastation. So I'm gonna have 2
Devastation.
Yeah, Worthy Chaos Redemption is the one now, and then it's going to be Worthy Chaos that, and it's going to be their past life. So it's going to be in the Wild West. So it's going to be a Wild West supernatural. They're going
That's dope.
Yeah, they're gonna hunt Wendigos and Wombat cats and Jersey Devils and everything. And 5 of our unique ones that we created our own with all powers and everything that they have. And we made our own myths and legends. And it's really fun. I'm really excited. And I've gotten already obsessed. I think we started 2 weeks ago and I already wrote out like 7 issues. So my artist is going to start drawing in about 3 weeks. So
yeah. I'm telling you, this girl ain't got no stop in her. Books are going to keep coming at you. She's averaging one every 2 months, maybe a little less than every 2 months.
That's
yeah,
great.
It's been like every 7. It's been like every 6 weeks, but when I have the Western, it's going to be every 4 weeks because I need to do that in between. My friend, damn it, my friend came to me and said, "I think you're ADHD and you should be on meds." And I was like, "Nah, it's working for me." So
Right.
we're gonna I don't want to jinx it. No,
She said, "That's my superpower. Why would I stop?"
Right? Why would I stop that? But yeah. Anyway, let me go because I'm gonna read this over. And anyway, it's 2 minutes late already. I've got 2 more things to add.
Shoot me the link as soon as it's live, and we'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, I'll send it in like 5 minutes. I just got to finish these 2, and then I'm done.
All right.
Love you,
Good
girl.
luck.
Keep doing
Thanks.
that thing, man.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
See ya.
She's something else. I'm telling you, this dude.
That's what it takes, though, man. You gotta have energy. You gotta have passion. You gotta push yourself because nobody's gonna push you. And I mean, that's how you make something happen.
I mean, it's hilarious because I think it was Laurie that came to me, or maybe it wasn't Laurie. Somebody come to me and they're like, "Man, this girl's got like 2 days left in her campaign. She's almost funded. She could use a little boost, once." I was like, 2 days? Why didn't somebody tell me about this like 28 days ago?
Right. Right. So you can keep pushing things
so I could push
regularly.
It, so I could have promoted it through the whole campaign.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we went out there, we pushed the hell out of it, got it funded, and then we've been promoting it ever since. She's one of our sponsors now. One of the things I got to do right now before we go back to talking about your book is show everybody the trailer for issue 12 of Worthy Chaos. Here you go. Check it. She's got skeletal buzzards. They're buzzard skeletons. They are the coolest thing. She makes little.
You just described Congress.
Thank you very much. She makes plushies of all the characters, the villains, and it's like just tons of merch.
Yeah, I saw that. I went to her website. I saw like the Anubis plushie character and stuff. That's really cool.
She's got statues, busts, just she's a merch
Don't talk
queen,
about
dude.
a woman's bust, man.
She's a merch queen. Dude.
That's awesome.
She's got it all over there. Laurie's the same way. Path of the Pale Rider, a well thought out, well written in advance story that's coming along as the artist gets the art done and being released as the work gets done. She's on book 5 right now. This dude.
It looks good. Worthy Chaos. The trailer really gave me that Top Cow, like Darkness Witchblade-y kind of vibe.
Yeah,
I like it. It's really cool.
I've got the first 11 over there.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Like I said, I've been following her since the beginning. I've been on board with it, and And because of the fact that look, this campaign will end, right? 12 will end. She'll be fulfilling within 3 days. Okay. She goes right into packaging books up and shipping them out. She'll put the sign up link up for the next book. And as soon as everybody has books in hand, boom, she's pushing the button on the next one. It's just like that, man, like clockwork for 2 years now. So, book 12, man. Come on. How many people out here in Indies got 12 books behind one series?
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's the problem. So much, it really is this waiting game for so many people. And so many of these campaigns you'll go to their Kickstarter or their Indiegogo, whatever they're using, Fund My Comic, whatever they're using, and you'll see maybe a page of art. You'll get such a small window into it, and they'll give you they'll show you all the variant covers and things and stuff, but then you'll actually commit to paying for it, and then you realize they haven't even finished the book yet. You're waiting for 3, 4, 5 months. The fact that she is delivering and steadily, consistently delivering, that's awesome. That's how you build a reputation in any business, but especially in comic books, because it is a flooded market. If you're going to stand out, you got to have a book that's worth reading, that's actually done with an artist heart in it, and not just a bunch of AI 3D assets. Yeah. And you got to deliver. You can't expect people to pay you and then just laze around and eventually get the book out. The
thing she didn't tell you is she's probably done through book 16.
That's awesome. That's incredible.
Written, as far as the story written, probably out to issue 100.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. That's how you have to be.
The art is done through 16, or they're working on 16 right now.
That's great.
Kickstarting 12. You see what I'm saying? It's dude, she's paying out of pocket to get this stuff all done ahead of time, so that as soon as the campaign's over, she's got the book. She's shipping it.
Yeah.
These are done. These stories, this art, it's all done. So it's like one of those can't miss things. You're going to get your book. And the thing I like about it is you can pretty much pick this story up now, not even reading the first 11 issues, understand what's going on, get into the story and go forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's a long story. It's, very little has happened so far in the grand scheme of things.
Mm.
Kevin Emerson, he is talking about Dr. America Child. Now, I gotta ask Kevin, do you got a link for that, brother? Let me see the link for that, man. Because I'm sure you have a ranch over here, don't you? I thought you did.
Dr. Alpha.
Yes, you got a wrench. Just go ahead and drop that link, bro. We'll keep talking about this. Now, you said something about art. This is amazing. You did this?
I did. I appreciate it. I worked really hard on that book.
Yeah.
Dude.
That looks great.
I like it's got the genetic string up there in the corner, everything. You know what I mean? It's like little hidden stuff. I love that.
Yeah, I love the fun part about Apollyon was getting all the different textures and there's that. It's a very gritty book, and I really like putting as much texture as I could into every element, every single moment of that book. I had a lot of fun. If I'm gonna do black and white, I really want it to pop off the page and have a lot of depth to it.
For sure.
So yeah, I had a lot of fun with that book. And I'm currently drawing the second volume of that one right now, and it's turning out really awesome too.
So now this video right here gives us an outlook of the whole picture.
That's actually a fair. I don't know how long that one is. That's a breakdown of the lore in our universe. I I haven't watched that video in a while. Yeah, that's a breakdown of like just the overall lore of our world. And it's got some cool art and stuff in it too. I don't know how long that video is.
I was just going to say, for the people watching and for you people watching on the replay, if you go to the Indiegogo, you can get this, what is the GODFOE universe, the whole layout. I'm assuming, I'm assuming Dan's giving us the whole show right there.
Oh yeah, you're getting it's a pretty good, like it was a comprehensive look at kind of the whole timeline of what's coming and how it all fits together. So yeah, that's awesome. I will say this, if just to kind of to entice somebody today to make my day better, anybody who through to either today and tomorrow for the next 2 days of the campaign, if you saw this video and you go and you get the catch up section of our tier, like the $35 for both books, if you purchase today because of watching this show, today or tomorrow, if you purchase because you watch this show, I will have a personal hand-drawn character sketch in your package when it comes to you.
Nice.
Ooh.
So anybody who's listening to this right now or listening to this tomorrow, so today is the 5th. If you listen to it on the 5th or the 6th and you decide to purchase that $35 package, you will get a hand-drawn sketch from me of one of the main characters of Kolga.
Nice.
Say you seen it on Monday Madness. Get yourself a free sketch, people.
Exactly.
That's how you do that. I seen you on Monday Madness. You said I could get a free sketch.
And you will get one.
There you go. That's awesome. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Y'all, you need to take advantage of that. That's the $35 tier, yo. Get the backup. It's got to be the physical. He ain't sending you a picture for nothing. You got to get the physical.
Yeah, get the $35 physical catch up. I will send you a hand-drawn sketch signed in your package.
That is awesome. Just for you, people. Just for you. Dude, so one of the things that, because I see we're like at the bottom of the actual campaign. We pretty much covered what you have here.
Yep.
I have this thing about making sure
Mm-hmm.
that people that come on my show don't leave going, man, he never asked me about this, or I didn't get to talk about that. And there was other things. I never want anybody leaving my show feeling like they didn't get to say everything they needed to say, because I've been on shows like that where I didn't get to talk about what I needed to talk about, right? So I'm asking you, is there anything that you wanted to talk about today that we haven't talked about?
I think the biggest thing that I'd like to say specifically about Biophile Kolga is, it leans more heavily into pulp. So if you like that, and we're kind of reinventing pulp in a way, like it's not going to read like a Doc Savage book or anything like that. But if you liked the old Solomon Kane type stuff, there is a mixture of fantasy and horror that old Lovecraftian pulp stuff had, and we're trying to do our own version of that. We're not aping any of it. We're not. It's not a Lovecraftian book. It's not a Conan the Barbarian book, but those elements are there. And it's very much a modern version of a pulp story. So if you enjoy creepy critters and you enjoy, that kind of story, you're going to love Kolga. If you like strong female characters, you're going to love Kolga. Apollyon, which is up in front of you right now, is a much more closer to our timeline, closer to the world we live in. And it's much more of a X-Men meets dystopian sci-fi. So it's a little bit of Akira, a little bit of Claremont era X-Men, a team of young people with powers coming together to fight something that's bigger than they are.
Nice.
So that just to kind of sell you on the tone of these books and what the type of world we're asking you to invest in. If that scratches the itch for you, then you're going to love these. So Apollyon has some awesome superpower villains. It has some really cool heroes. And I think we've managed to approach that kind of story in a way that's fresh and new. So, you know, if I just kind of want to let people know this is the world you're getting into. It's not just sci-fi. It's not just fantasy. It's not just horror. It's a mixture of a lot of these different elements. And, you know, I don't like tooting my own horn about art, but I do want to brag on Dan. Dan's one of the best comic writers that I've read in a long time. His dialogue actually feels like real people talking. You know, I think he's done a really good job of allowing me to show, instead of just having too much exposition and knowing when to pull back and knowing when to share. I think as a team, we just have a really good balance together. I don't think there's anybody that's going to read this book and regret it. Like I'm not putting it out there and expecting you to pay for something that I wouldn't pay for. Every person that I've talked to who has read these books, and because we have had a few people do early, kind of have an early review of Kolga. We've definitely had people who have read Apollyon. Now it's been out for a while. People have loved these books. And, you know, I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed. We're trying to do everything in good faith. We try to be very transparent with everything we do. And, you know, if you trust us and you invest in us, we're going to keep you entertained for a really long time.
Nice.
That's awesome. Dustin, you have anything else from Josh? What do you got? I know you got something.
Just my hats off. I think this looks really cool. I especially love the black and white that you have there. It's just looks so good.
I appreciate that, man. That means a lot.
Really pops.
Thank you.
There it is, people. Links in the chat. Links also in the description down below. If you're catching this on the replay, go check it out. You're not going to be disappointed. Look at this freaking art, man.
Yeah.
Look, I'm loving your black and white stuff, dude. I'm wondering if you guys would consider doing Kolga just the line work.
We've talked about eventually doing a release that is a black and white version of Kolga. We've considered that. My favorite thing about the art in Kolga is, and when you actually get it and you get to see, there's so much that we haven't shown you. Right. But dude, Kolga is as dark and gritty as Apollyon is. Kolga is bright and colorful and super saturated colors. It feels like Heavy Metal magazine back in the day. Like, it's really colorful, and that was so much fun for me going between the two. So like Kolga is incredibly colorful. It's very vivid, and I think that's part of what makes it so fun.
Yeah.
Okay,
especially if you scroll down a little bit. I think that little art looks insane. That these panels right there look so good.
I appreciate it, man. There's so much, like, we're not showing you the money shots. That's the thing, is like, these aren't the money shots compared to some of what's in that book. Yeah. It was so much fun. I had an absolute blast coloring and drawing, and there again, I draw it, I color it, I'll ink it, I'll letter it. It's all, you know, it's me and Dan. It's a team of two.
That leads me to my final question. Is this traditional or digital?
It's digital.
Right. So when you offer to do a sketch, though, you're going to do that traditional.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can do do both.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I like. Awesome. I have friends that do one or the other.
No, I don't. I've up until the past year or year and a half, I have only been a traditional artist. The appeal of the digital work for me is it allows me to do it quicker.
Control Z. I know.
Yeah, it's more, and it's easier than scanning everything in. It's just, but I also make an effort to approach digital art with the same sensibility that I do my pad. My tablet feels like drawing on paper to me. Like, It's so sensitive to it. So like, I don't feel like my book has that. Oh, it just looks like it was drawn on a computer. Like I feel like it has a lot of depth to it. I purposely add a lot of texture to it and halftones and stuff just to make it feel very alive and not have a cold computer feel to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, those pictures, if you buy this book today, you're going to get hand drawn. You're not going to get a print.
Yeah. The whole reason I ask is that, like I said, I have friends that do both. I have friends that can do both, that do one or the other because they prefer it, to the other. Doc, who has been a fine artist, and came into the comic world and started drawing, and it's like recently he started doing digital, and he's learning how to use all the Clip Studio and all these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, it's like, yeah, we can do it faster. That undo, that Control Z is so much better than whiteout and eraser. And,
exactly.
You know what
and
I mean?
The reality is the skills and the principles and all that stuff are transferable. It's just a different medium. It's just a tool. Yeah. And it's what you're able to do with it. You're limited by what's up here more than anything else. So
right. But yeah, this looks amazing, and I love dude, your line work. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going down here because your line work is just.
I appreciate it. I really do.
I love it. Good stuff. Guys, about that time, but I want to thank you both. I want to thank Dustin for coming out, hanging out with me like Doc usually does. See, I'm like this fan that doesn't know crap about art forms or writing. I know I read a lot and I like comics and I like games and I like all that stuff. I'm a fan, right?
Yeah.
I bring Doc out because Doc has actual knowledge of this stuff and he can ask actual questions. I'm like, hey man, I built this thing because things were falling apart in 2020.
Oh yeah.
There was no nothing, right? There was no cons, there was no nothing. And that's when I started building this as a promotional network, and I like to feel like we did a pretty good job. We helped some people out during a really crappy time. And now I want to build something for us.
Well, man, I appreciate you giving us the invite. I definitely want to stay in touch with you guys and do as much as possible. Our
goal is to take this whole network to Roku.
Hey, there you go. That's awesome.
Now, if you, like I said, if you're talking about podcasts, you're talking about doing the audio version of your books and stuff, I would love it. Hit me up.
100%, man.
We'll put you right on Roku with everybody else.
Hey, 100%, dude. We appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate both of you guys and the time we spent this afternoon. I know that, and people's time is precious. So, I appreciate y'all making a space for us. And, we're going to keep pushing this campaign. It just is getting started. But, we're going to keep pushing it.
And
make it happen.
And I got to show it off because she got it to me before. She got it to me in time, guys. Look, she launched already. Let's get this up here. She launched. She's got 9 backers, $128.
There you go.
Nice.
Doing the short campaign. Look at that.
Wow. Yeah, 18 days to go. That is a short one. Well, she's got a built-in fan base already. So, she knows her people are going to be in there. That's awesome.
And she's trying to stay in that 7 week book, 7 weeks from this day to in your hand.
That's awesome.
That's pretty freaking good, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Love it. Gotta love it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate you. Definitely want to. What's going on here? Stop doing that. Okay. Definitely want to thank Josh for coming out. I want to get Dan out here again. When is this? When is this thing in?
Our campaign.
Yeah.
It's a 30-day campaign. I'm trying to think.
Okay, there's 26 days left.
Yep.
Look, we also do what we call launches and countdowns, where we'll bring you out here for an hour before you launch and hang out with you for an hour and watch the numbers go, right?
Yeah.
We're out here ahead of time. We're drawing people in, letting them know what's about to happen. But we
Yeah.
also like to come out here for the last hour of your campaign and remind people, in case you forgot, this thing's almost over.
Yeah.
If you like us, if you talk to Dan, if you guys would like us to do a countdown for you at the end of this thing, let me know, man. We'll hook you up.
I will. We'll have I'm sure sometime this week we'll have a conference call between the two of us. It's a little bit of a busy week, and we got a storm coming in to destroy us. But we'll talk about it and see what, even if it's not at the very end, like however it.
Definitely want to have him out here with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love. Dan's hilarious, so it'll be fun. Yeah, we'll definitely try to get back on again between now and then.
Just hit me up, man. I got you.
Will do, brother.
All right. Y'all have a great day. Dustin, tell everybody where they can find you, man.
Yeah, we're going to be having a show here at 8 o'clock tonight. So stick around, tune in, all that good stuff.
Nice.
Otherwise, you can find me at I Am Superman or Masters of the Universe. Masters of the Thunder Nerd.
He's that guy. He's that guy right there.
Yes, down here in the description. That place. Go there. At Masters of the Thunder Nerds on Instagram and all that other good stuff. So
he's like, I didn't know I was gonna have to talk.
Yeah. It's one of those things like you put me on the spot and I'm like, oh, what?
Josh, where can they find you at, man?
The best place to find us is probably on Instagram or Twitter. But honestly, if you just put in GODFOE Universe, we come up no matter where. You'll find we're on everything. Just put in GODFOE Universe and you will find us very easily. You can go to godfoeuniverse.com, join our mailing list, and we'll just send you stuff. You don't even have to look for us. We'll come find you.
Don't forget, people, you get that $35 catch-up tier today or tomorrow. You'll get a free sketch from Josh with your campaign package. Can't beat that, guys.
Nope.
That's shit. The art's worth $35. Come on.
For real.
Come on. Just saying. I know a lot of people that like original art, so I'm just telling you guys, you can get a piece of original art and 270 pages of comic book for $35 freaking dollars. That's
nobody else is giving you that, guys.
Deal of the year. I'm just saying, I'm calling it right now. Best deal of the year. 270 pages of comic book and a sketch. Original art, $35. Can't beat it.
Nope.
Get you some. With that, I'm gonna play a few more ads because we have other sponsors, and then I'm gonna be out of here. Josh, it was great meeting you.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome.
Dude.
Nice meeting y'all too, guys.
You too.
Y'all have a great night. Peace.
See you.
Peace.
Flip City Magazine is just really pulling out all the stops, man. Your guys' production value of this magazine has gone insane. I mean, look at that. I mean, I remember when you guys, it was black and white. Even when it was black and white, I thought your quality was great. But damn, they have just, I mean, they just really stepping it up a notch. Look at this. James Corbett, boys. James Corbett.
Genuinely cutting, but also funny, and obviously just chaotic and very fun.
I love Flip City. It has brought new types of badassery and integrity to the print medium.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz hands. Jazz hands are done.